Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast with
Hi.
Kathy and Burk, talking about movies. We're going to do a trailer reaction today for a big movie that people are really waiting for. Like,
Oh my God.
this is
I
insane.
I couldn't wait so much that I couldn't even get to my Cinemondo studio. I have to do it right here in my house.
Wow.
I'm doing it right here, people, because I cannot wait. So we're going to do it right now because this
Plus,
is hot,
I think they're
hot.
refueling your helicopter right now, so you wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to go anyway.
It takes them forever to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes so long. But this is very exciting because we have been ramping up to this KGF 2 forever. Oh my gosh. So this is like,
KGF 2.
and the biggest thing is I think there's actual footage in this. I'm hoping it comes out in 2 weeks, or April 14th, I think. So
this isn't just like one of those teasers with the teaser footage. This
that's
is
using
like
the KGF 1 footage. We'll see. I don't know, but I mean, it has to have footage in it because it's coming out any second.
yeah,
So
it should. I mean, they should have shot something already, right?
something should be shot, and even the music video didn't have that much in it. So I'm very
Yeah.
excited to see finally if we're going to get a look at what the new KGF is going to look like.
Cool. Should we look at it
Let's look at it
without further ado, as they
without
say?
ado.
Yeah. All right,
All right.
I'm going to start. We're ready?
Ready?
Speed.
KGF ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗರುಡನ್ ಸಾಯಿಸಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂದೇನಾಯ್ತು ನೀವು ಓದ್ತೀರಾ
ರಕ್ತದಿಂದ ಬರೆದಿರೋ ಕತೆ ಇದು. ಶಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
Looks much glossier.
ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಕ್ತನೇ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ.
There will be no more tolerance. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಪಡೆಗಳಿವೆ. ಉಸ್ಕೆ ಮಾರೆಂಗೆ.
ಕತ್ತಿ ಬೀಸಿ ರಕ್ತ ಹರಿಸಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಳೋ ಹೆಣಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ರಣಹದ್ದುಗಳನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋ.
He is the biggest criminal. He is the biggest businessman. This is the biggest national issue.
Violence, violence, violence. I don't like it.
Look at that suit.
I avoid. But violence likes me. I can't avoid.
मैं तुम्हारा सब कुछ छीन लूंगी.
ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನನ್ನ KGF ಪಡೆಯೋಕೆ.
ನನಗೆ ಯಾರ ದೋಸ್ತಿನೂ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ದುಶ್ಮನಿ ಯಾವನು ತಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಆಫರ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಸೂನ್.
ಅಮ್ಮ, ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಬಂಗಾರನೆಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಮ್ಮ.
ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ನೀನು ಮಲ್ಕೋ, ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಹೋಗಿ ತರುವಂತೆ.
Chapter 2. It looks big and loud and
my.
violent, and
But he doesn't like it.
but he can't avoid it.
It defines him. He likes him.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting the big lines, like the big catchphrases where he said in English, which I thought was an interesting touch.
Yeah, I wonder if that's for the English audience. I mean, does he speak it in a different language in the film, or
No,
don't
I
know.
think this is in the film. I think probably maybe he's in
Speaking
saying
to
in
English
English,
speakers.
he's speaking to a lot of different people, maybe more like the world. where
Right.
A lot of people know, some
Maybe, yeah.
more so than, his language, but Kannada.
But it looks pretty intense. It looks like a bit like kind of a Mad Max kind of movie.
Very
It was
Mad
like
Max
a lot
feel.
of and the Mad Max theme was all about people desperate to get gasoline and
Black gold,
and this is gold and
Texas tea.
but it looks like there's all kind. I mean, there was jets firing missiles. There's trucks fighting each other. There's cars fighting each other. There's,
Vikings, apparently. Some Vikings
guys
in there.
fighting cars. There's Vikings. Yeah, and not not a spot on those white pants.
I loved him. Like all this chaos, all this dust, all this stuff flying around. He's staring
And
at
he's
a
like-
white suit,
Yeah.
looking good. Yeah, it looked
It's-
like
to
he's
me,
the
I-
GQ ad. Everyone else is an Mad Max.
Yeah. That's the thing that kind of that keeps me from going full 5 stars on this. It's like it looks like lots of fun, but it kind of takes me out of the movie when he shows up and I keep expecting little call outs to show, where to get the shoes and how much.
I
And,
would like to know that. actually.
you know what I mean? Like in
Yeah.
GQ and it's a picture of Brad Pitt standing there. It's like shoes by Gucci.
I wonder if part of
And-
it's kind of like, like if you were a king, you would be dressed in all your finery, even if all the people working for you and the people you were over, the overlord of, would be in just normal clothes. Yet you have to put on this affect of like, you're above it all. You're not in the dirt getting dirty with everyone. You're, up in your tower, in your fancy designer clothes and your good haircut.
Yeah, I guess if the fancy clothes are what sort of is the thing that demands the respect, that's one of the things that kind of troubles me about a lot of movies is the idea that holding an object is supposed to impart respect upon you, like holding a gun. And it's like if people say, "Oh, he's got a gun, we need to respect him," that's not right. You fear that person. You're afraid of them. Fear isn't respect.
Or in this case, a sledgehammer seems to be the weapon of choice.
Or superior fighting skills or whatever. And it's like, hopefully there's some character building in this where you actually respect a person for something that's respectable, like freeing the slaves or
Well, it looks like he's fighting for the people in the mines.
liberating the workers. Yeah, that's hopefully that comes across more in the film than it did in the trailer. In the trailer, it just sort of looks like this, sharp dressed man shows up and starts bragging about himself. I'm trouble.
Well, that's if you hadn't seen the first movie and they know he's trouble. Also, I feel like stylistically, this one looks a lot more sophisticated. It looks like they had more money. It looks a lot more glossy. The lighting is very gorgeous. The first film was very choppy. Like the trailer was also very choppy. Lots of quick cuts. You never had a second to breathe, And I like that there were a few, even in this trailer, even though there was a lot of the same footage of things blowing up and lines of trucks and things like that. In between, there were just some quiet moments that they let kind of sit for a second. So I feel like there's a little bit of like, okay, they're going to let people talk. They're going to give us a second to be emotionally invested. Because we just have a lot of big quick cuts of big, great action. You're in, your eye is caught, but you're not emotionally attached to anything.
And it's a trailer.
Yeah. And, but this trailer, the fact that this trailer actually didn't look as choppy as the last movie brings me hope that this one will have a little bit more, artistry in a way than the
it
first
appears to me that from a special effects point of view that the special effects are a little bit more sophisticated,
one.
a little
It does look better.
sharper, nicer looking, a little bit more finesse in some of the set extensions. And a lot of times you get those great, pseudo drone shots like in, like you saw in Lord of the Rings where the camera swoops and swoops around the building, around the castle and then into a window. And it sort of overuses the idea of CGI. It's almost like you swoop around and around the castle and then you go in the window because you can.
Exactly.
And it's not necessarily great for the story because for me, a lot of times it takes me out of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's nice. And I saw in the trailer, it looks like they just have some establishing shots of their, mystical castle. There's one castle on a hillside. It looks like, and it just looks like, they resisted the temptation to have the camera swooping and zooming and just sort of showed it. And maybe just a little bit of movement just for parallax, but it's that to me is kind of classy. That shows a little bit of restraint with the special effects instead of trying to overwhelm us with the effects.
Exactly.
In the use to use the special effects in the service of the story is what and not to take us out of the story with, wow, your special effects are great.
Yeah.
You should be thinking, wow, this story is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it
hopefully-
definitely, I feel like it looks like they're a lot more confident in their concept with this second chapter. I feel like the cinematography just looks stronger. I feel like it even looks like Yash has a more like defined character. It looks like he's more invested in his character. Not that he wasn't before, but he was kind of like the man of few words who wasn't really he wasn't really well rounded. But it looks like, I mean, apparently this film's going to go more into his background. He discovers more about himself, even because he was his mother died when he was really young. And he lived on the streets.
Flashbacks to kidhood.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see that. And I have some posters. Cool. Because they have a new print campaign, so I can kind of go through that. And it looks like it's reflecting more of the tone of this trailer, where it's like more like it's sort of desat. It has the gold, a little more sophisticated look. It has this is the Yash character cell. It looks like, and granted, some of these are probably might be fan posters, but they have
you never
like
know.
The announcement post. I know it's hard to tell. There's so many posters, and this again, it's that same palette. You have the DSAT, beautiful DSAT photography, and then the gold type, which I think is really, really nice. And then we actually have a poster for the new character. I assume he's new. Because he killed off his last bad guy. So I love this guy because he looks like a Viking. His whole affect is Viking. He's got a sword. He's got the braids. Like, I love that idea because it becomes a very primitive sort of violence to it.
The Matrix Code tattoos on his face.
Love that. That's super cool. Yeah, he's got really cool tattoos. So he looks like he's gonna be a new big bad. Let alone the government, who also wants to kill Rocky because you can't let that shit happen. So I'm very interested in this movie. I think it looks like it's definitely got a little bit more budget, a little bit more sophistication, because I think this character in the story it deserves an elevated, elevated
some
feel
character,
and tone.
some like realistic character development. When they do the flashbacks, those tend to be. I tend to like those scenes more than the cars flipping and the cars and trucks fighting each other. It's like that stuff. It's like I've seen that before, and it's gonna is it going to be another car flipping and a tire coming off and coming into the camera lens? That stuff is kind of fun in moderation. I mean, if you cut back on that stuff and compensate by adding some more character development or some more of those moments between the characters, that's what I end up liking more. The scenes that I remember the most in films are the scenes where you get emotion, emotional investment in the characters. Seems like maybe they're going to do that here.
And it looks like there's a little bit of humor. I mean, there was a little bit of humor in the last one, but Rocky coming out and having his little sarcastic moments, that's it's got a little Dirty Harry, Mad Max feel to it that we've talked about. Little bit of quippiness that's kind of nice. I mean, he is like an anti-hero in a way.
He's sort of a Wolverine with a better suit.
Exactly. Without the claws.
But who knows? Maybe he'll have claws by the end of the film.
We just got back from seeing RRR. Just very recently. And so this is the other big movie that's coming out. Like some big ones. So this is the second one. Very different in tone. Like RRR was more fantasy. It was definitely had a lighter feel. Even though there was a lot of serious undertones, it still had a much lighter, fantastical quality. This one looks a lot more gritty, a lot more grounded. I'm honestly probably more attracted to this type of movie than RRR, but I do think that the Yash is such a compelling actor and character that this just feels like a stronger pull for me.
Right. And you got to check out our review of RRR because we actually did
it, guys.
We stepped out of the studio. We got out into the real world. We went to Universal City. In Hollywood. It's not really Hollywood, but it's
Universal City, but that's
Hollywood.
Close enough. Very, very close.
But we actually went there and saw the movie, and then we talked about it afterwards, like minutes after we had seen it. So it's a pretty fun review, and there's a few we got a few shots of the back lot in the studio.
And I did the nacho dance.
Yeah, Kathy does the dance like twice. She does the dance.
It wasn't good. But you can look and see if you really want to see some bad dancing. Feel free. But in the meantime, I don't think there's gonna be any dancing in KGF, but you never know. I mean, there probably will be. There probably will be some dance numbers in it. We'll see if they have one I could actually do, any kind of step I can do, because I cannot dance. So it has to be very easy. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for this is KGF, and don't miss our. Please watch our please watch our RRR review. It's fun, and it's a new thing for us. And let us know if you like those sort of field trip videos, like when we actually go off and get out of our studio. Let us know if you think those are fun.
We'll probably do one for KGF. We got to go to the theater and see it.
Yeah.
All right. If you liked it, we'll do it for KGF. If you didn't like it, then we won't. That's all there is to it. You vote. All right, you guys. See you later.
Take care, everybody. Bye.